How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, this sister that you see here, you see a few pictures up here on the top here on this page where she's holding her daughter. Her name is Jennifer McLegan, and she lives in upstate New York, and she is dealing with neighbors from hell. And how I found this story, I was on Facebook on, if anybody remember Jazzy Rowe, and Jazzy Rowe had put this on her, what I'm going to read to y'all, put this on her page. And I started reading, and I was like, first thing that kicked in my mind, I said, is this another one of these Karen situations? And then I started looking into it. Oh no, not one damn bit. So I'm going to read some things and show some videos. I got a lot to show y'all. So it's one of these type of videos. And what I want to say before I get started, one thing that I know about New York itself, New York has always tried to hide that they had slavery there. New York wants to come off like they're very liberal. You know, they try to come off how they come off up here in the Bay Area. And it doesn't matter what party affiliation you have. These people, this stuff is in these people's nature. And what I'm about to present will not surprise the royal family at all. So I'm going to read from my other computer what this woman had to put in front of her house in order to not be harassed. Now, what stood out to me is when I seen the number 17. And anybody that's new to True Royal, the True Royal family or True Royal, when I had my spiritual experience, our Father told me I would always see the number 17. And in the word, 17 means overcoming the enemy and a complete victory. So, let's read. Let me see here. Oops. Excuse me for that, family. So what I'm going to do is it'll be a little bit easier for me to read off of my other computer as usual. So I'm going to read this statement this sister put. Oh, boy. Kind of jacked up here just a little bit. Here we go. So let's get into this first phase of this. Okay. Let me see if I can get it all here. Might have to back off of it some. Okay, great. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I'm a single mom and a registered nurse. My neighbors have been racially harassing me since I purchased my home. I took video footage to court and won a $5,000 judgment from my videos. They have thrown human feces on my property, and it was recorded. They are now planting dead squirrels on my property and have told me to go back to where I come from. They have their friends come and spit on my property, and it was recorded. A blowtorch was taken to my home at 3 a.m. They have said that I can be erased. Their friends also threatened to get rid of me and my cameras. They walk around in the back with guns, and it was recorded. The police have said I need to be harmed for them to make an arrest. I live in fear for my life at home. You will hear prayers coming from my home. I apologize for the noise. Thank you. Okay. So, let's get into this first video. In the first video I'm going to play, the sound is a bit low, my royal family. But this, what they were saying was so necessary, I wanted to play it. So forgive me for this first one, but the rest of them, the sounds is very crisp and much louder and clear. Okay, so let's get into this first video.
Harassed and intimidated by her neighbors.
That's what a single mom and nurse from Valley Stream says is happening to her. I'm Gianna Gelosi.
And I'm Stone Grissom. Now, the woman wrote this letter right here on her door saying that she's afraid for her life and her child's life because of the threats and harassment. News 12's Tama Ponton has that story.
I have a small baby. I'm here alone. If something happens to me, what's going to happen to the baby?
Fear for her life and concerns over the safety of her little girl. That's why single mother and registered nurse Jennifer McLegan says she put this sign on the front door of her Valley Stream home.
I could get hurt in here and nobody will be able to help me. And she'll be in here alone. That's why I put up the sign, in case something happened to me.
The sign, which McLegan says she put up a few days ago, has graphic details of incidents she says are racial harassment from some of her neighbors on St. Pierre Street. Human feces being thrown on her property, dead squirrels buried on her lawn, and a blowtorch being taken to her home in the middle of the night.
I want it to stop, because I don't deserve it.
McLegan says what started years ago as a dispute over an unkempt lawn recently escalated. She shared these videos with News 12, which she says show her neighbor walking around with what looks like a gun, leaning over the fence and spitting on her yard, and showing a person in what she calls a blackface mask at night walking in front of her home. The videos and sign have gone viral, garnering attention from community groups and support from some neighbors.
Just want to let you know that we're with you.
I have video of where I can get her erased, I can get her eliminated. She doesn't know who I know. And I just felt like the cops were kind of saying he has to kind of harm you in order for us to arrest him.
In a statement to News 12, Nassau County Executive Laura Curran said, Nassau County will not tolerate any resident being harassed or intimidated because of who they are or what they look like. We take these allegations seriously, and Nassau County PD is conducting a thorough investigation into the matter. We knocked on the neighbor's door to get his side. He didn't answer. One neighbor we did speak with says she can hardly believe what's going on.
People need to learn to live together in this day and age, and it's a shame that we can't.
McLegan says she plans to leave that sign on her front door until she feels like she can live in peace in her home.
I do want them to leave me alone. That's all that I want. I do want the threats to stop.
In Valley Stream, I'm Tama Ponton, News 12, Long Island.
McLegan tells News 12 a community group is planning a protest march and rally from the Valley Stream train station to her home on Thursday. Nassau police say, quote, at this point, this is an active criminal investigation.
Okay. They full of shit when they be talking about what they don't tolerate. This shit had never even escalated to what this escalated to. They know that she don't have a man up in the house, and they pulling all these antics and shit like that. And this should have been dealt with immediately. So as we continue on, I'm going to play this next video. And you know how I get down over here. I like to make sure I get as much data, much footage as possible.
Mother on Long Island says she is living in fear. She says she's the target of ongoing threats and racist harassment by her neighbors. And she says those threats don't stop, including a neighbor with his guns and even a dead squirrel she says was placed in her yard. Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang is live tonight in Valley Stream. Lucy?
Well, Sandra, the single mom who lives in this home behind me says she tried everything to be a good neighbor, but the intimidations, the harassment just keep getting more intense. Now, other neighbors are gathering around her to make sure she is not pushed out of this neighborhood.
Because a dead squirrel is what's next after that. Am I going to be dead?
This is Jennifer McLegan. You can't miss her house on St. Pierre Street in Valley Stream. It's the one with the big sign explaining how she lives in fear.
In case if something happens to me here, then somebody would know that I'm in the house with a baby. Because if I die in here, then at least the cops would see the sign.
Jennifer, a nurse, moved into the corner home 3 years ago. Her suburban dream quickly turned into a nightmare, she says, when her next-door neighbors, who were white, made it clear she was not welcomed. The single mom claims it began with harassment over her yard.
Still trying to be a good neighbor. I spent about $6,000 cutting down trees. I'm mowing the lawn myself.
Next, she says she started finding feces dropped on her property and more recently, a dead squirrel.
The previous owner said they ran her out of the neighborhood because of the dead squirrel she used to find, and she just couldn't take it anymore.
On Sunday, Nassau County detectives were here investigating. Jennifer says these photos show her neighbors with a gun, in a blackface mask in the middle of the night, spitting on her property. Erica Correa says she too was harassed when she first moved in, but not to this level.
Right now, we're just trying to give her as much support and love that we can.
The neighbors have now rallied behind Jennifer. The goal is for this mother and toddler to live in peace. Jennifer fears police have their hands tied.
If there's no arrest, there's no restraining order. It's like they're kind of waiting for me to drop dead in here before they help me.
Well, as you can see live out here in the neighborhood, there are police on location. We did knock on the next door neighbor's door this evening, no answer. Meanwhile, there is a protest scheduled for Thursday of this week in support of Jennifer and her toddler.
All right, my royal family, let me freeze this. Okay. Let me see here. So I'm going to play one more video, and then I'm going to read an article.
Nassau County Police are now investigating claims that a single mother is being harassed by her neighbor.
Yeah, Jennifer McCleggan says she's being racially targeted by the man who lives next door. A note she posted at her door says she now fears for her life. McCleggan says he throws human waste and dead squirrels on the lawn of her home in Valley Stream. She's even posted these videos on social media that show the man walking around her yard with what appear to be guns. See that in his hand? McCleggan claims police have told her that they couldn't help because she wasn't physically harmed.
2 a.m., 3 a.m., dropping on my property. And then they said to me, "Miss, you have to clean up the I don't own a dog." They own a dog. In the middle of the night, they're throwing on my property, and then he calls Valley Stream Village Ordinance, and I get a ticket.
Well, the county executive, Laura Curran, says they are taking these allegations very seriously. She says police will conduct a full investigation. We tried to reach that neighbor to see if he had a comment. We got no response.
This is some of the weakest shit I have ever seen in my life. Let me take this one down.
Police are investigating 3 separate
Take this one down. Okay. Let me go over here before I get into this video. Okay. This is one of the neighbors, and they know that they are being watched, harassing this woman. So let me read this article. Supporters are rallying around the single mother in suburban Long Island who said she's the target of a long-standing harassment by a neighbor who has thrown feces and dead squirrels in her yard. "My neighbors have been racially harassing me since I purchased my home," Jennifer McCleggan, a registered nurse with a 2-year-old daughter, said on a handwritten sign covered her front door in Valley Stream. McCleggan told WABC it begun with complaints about her unkept yard and escalated into something more sinister. McCleggan, who is black, said the white man next door has told her to go back to where I came from and had his friends spit on her yard, has taken a blowtorch to her house at night, and has said she could be erased. She posts several videos taken from her windows showing a man tossing something into her yard, walking around with various guns. She said police told her they can't make an arrest unless she is harmed. Twitter and Instagram posts about the situation over the weekend prompt supporters to plan a protest on Thursday. Police met with McCleggan in her home on Monday. Nassau County, who will not tolerate any residents being harassed or intimidated because of who they are or what they look like, that's some bullshit. That's some straight bullshit. Because they call the cops on her because there's shit in the yard, and then she gets ticketed. See, this is something that my husband taught me. He said, when they are dealing with us, it is the letter of the law. And when they are dealing with the enemy, it is the spirit of the law. So when she got fined for shit in her yard and she don't own a dog, they gonna go by the letter of the law and say, well, there is shit in your yard, so you are the property owner, and so you must be ticketed. And they already know that what they own have done. So this is some straight bullshit. And I'm glad that they're getting a lot of exposure on this as we continue on.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! When the black community is under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back!
A protest in Valley Stream in support of a single mom who claims she's being harassed by neighbors because of the color of her skin. Jennifer McLagan has posted a sign on her front door and fence detailing the alleged harassment. She's worried about her family's safety.
He was saying that he can get me eliminated and he can get me erased. Then what if I'm dead in here? Then I have a baby in here. That's why I put up the sign.
McLagan claims the next-door neighbors have been intimidating her with BB guns, throwing dead squirrels on her property, and more.
And then I got to look at 3 a.m. and he's out there with blackface. He's out there, they're throwing feces in front of my property.
McLagan called the authorities, but says they haven't helped.
I stopped calling the police because nothing was happening.
The Nassau Police Commissioner says the department is investigating this as a possible bias incident.
It's your neighborhood argument that's going on between neighbors, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of it, but we're going to make sure that both are protected in the meantime.
Newsday reached out to McLagan's neighbors, but we were unable to get a comment. However, the neighbors tell police they're the ones being harassed. County Executive Laura Curran issued a statement saying Nassau County will not tolerate any resident being harassed or intimidated because of who they are or what they look like. State Senator Todd Kaminsky, whose district includes Valley Stream, calls the case alarming. Assemblywoman Mikhail Salage says hate must not be allowed, and the community stands behind Jennifer. And that's precisely what many neighbors appear to be doing.
I'm just trying to do what I can do to try and make where she's living feel a little more comfortable, a little more safer, if at all possible.
While others are telling Jennifer to keep her head up.
Keep moving and doing what she's doing.
Reporting for Newsday from Valley Stream, Daisy Calavia Robertson.
All right, let me take that down. And I've already showed this first picture of these cowardly acts that these white supremacists are pulling on this sister and her child. And you see various men doing this, and this is something I want to take y'all deeper into. Let me see, is this the one? Yeah, let's get into this. Let me see what else is here. Okay, that's just her and her child here. Let's get back over here. And I want to show y'all some things that she has captured. Let's see here. Let's get into this first one. All right, so you got somebody prowling around our house, and they know they're being watched. You know, they trying to intimidate her. Then here is, now they killing animals, dead squirrels and stuff. And everything that we are looking at is a sign of weakness. Now check this one out. I'm gonna have to play this one a couple of times. Now he know he's being filmed, and the way he's holding his head, you don't want to show his face, but I hope y'all can hear it. You're gonna hear him click that gun. there's supposed to be some intimidation that he's pulling. Weak. She need to get strapped up. Because I wouldn't put up with none of it. You hear it? Clicking the gun. Just straight up weakness. You know, he trying to show her, you know, I can take you out. So, when I was looking further here, tomorrow, here it is right here. Tomorrow in this community, I stand with Jennifer, a peaceful protest rally in front of Jennifer's home. Thursday, July 16th. That's what they're going to have here. And they need to do that. We have to let these people know you're not running us out of nobody's neighborhood. And these things that they have done, I have experienced this kind of stuff. And I even had a dog killed over it. The white neighbors poisoned my dog. I was a teenager back then. I'll never forget it. It really scarred me and stuff like that. And it was really deep. Once they started seeing black men showing up around the house and knew that a black man lived in the house, just the presence of a black man, the shit just stopped out of nowhere. And this is a prime example of we need to have our own communities. We don't need to live around the enemy at all. And we need to take this shit real serious because the enemy is feeling threatened because they're looking at their ending coming. And you can't take these people light at all and stuff. Now back to law enforcement. They are full of shit because you could change the dynamics. And if that was a black family harassing a single parent white woman, trust and believe something would be done. And don't lose sight of what I said, the statement that my husband told me years ago. When it comes to us, it is the letter of the law. When it comes to the enemy, it's the spirit of the law. And all of a sudden, they don't have a clue how to execute the law. You notice when they deal with us, they don't even deal with us by the book. It is full throttle. Their emotions is all wrapped up in it because this shit should have been shut down immediately. To take it this far for this black woman holding her child, have to go to the media, have to have people to protest. There's something wrong. There's something greatly wrong and stuff. And I don't, you know, we got to realize when we living in these communities, snow country and stuff like that, that ain't a privilege. It ain't a privilege. You're in danger. It ain't a privilege at all. I wasn't raised in the hood, so I know how these people get down and stuff. And but I have lived in the hood throughout my life, and there were no problems. It was always problems when we moved or lived in unquote snow country. They always pinning notes on your door, getting some letter for this or that. You know, they don't know how to mind their fucking business. That's why they are losing their mind even now, because having a shutdown, they are so worried of what's going on out in the streets of America. They worried about what we doing at all times. They don't know how to mind their own fucking business. But when you catch spineless, weak-willed men that pull stunts like this, basically they are showing and demonstrating their weakness. Just a woman with her child. That's it and that's all. But see, when you are dealing with the enemy, you have to be very unforgiving how you deal with the enemy. You have to rent enough space in their head that they say this person will go there. all that trying to be nice and all that kind of shit and praying for them. Say them prayers for people that truly need them prayers. Sometimes you have to just pull up your sleeve and put foot in ass, because law enforcement ain't here for you. They don't know what to do for you in a situation like that. But like I said before, if you change the dynamics, then they would know exactly what to do and how to execute this. So I will keep an eye on this like I keep an eye on many things. So my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.